You throw over $1,000 a month into local wishing wells.
Of course, you idiot, because I'm wishing for more money.
This is the Keeping Your Money Show with Jamie Westenberger and Bart Steinler.
All right, welcome back to Keep Your Money Show. I'm Jamie Westenberger, joined as always by Bart Steinler. We've been talking about, is free really free? What do you get for free? Is the fee you're paying for your financial advice worth it, or too much, too little, maybe even?
You know, the other thing, how many times, going back to this, how many times have you seen a large company offer something at a really, really inexpensive price, and then they get a whole bunch of people in, and then all of a sudden they have to charge a higher fee for it?
Well, and interestingly enough, you saying that, I don't know if you saw it or not, but when asked what motivated this, Jamie Dimon, the president of JP Morgan, said the thing that motivated them was looking at how successful Amazon has been. Well, Amazon has lost money for years to acquire this huge database of people that then they now have started to monetize. So,
Right.
you know, there's a good possibility that, you know, that is something they could do. They could bring in 30 million customers, but at some point in time realize that this free model doesn't quite work so well.
Isn't there also a service out there where you could buy a certain monthly fee and you could go see all the movies you wanted?
Yeah.
And then they
canceled it?
Then they canceled it, and then they said, well, actually, only 3 movies a month now. You know?
Right. Yeah, it happens for sure. Well, I saw this article on MarketWatch, and we won't go through all of them, but I thought it was interesting. They were talking about kind of 10 commandments of retirement. I liked some of them because I think some of them really are almost something you should just post on your wall. Now, these don't start with thou shalt or thou shalt not or anything like that, but they are really good because, unfortunately, we as Americans, sometimes what we see in our future and what's realistically in our future are two very different things, right? And I think of the guy who at 55 is, you know, drinking a 6-pack of beer and smoking cigarettes and is thinking that, you know, at 90 he wants to do something. I mean, his likelihood of 90 is drastically reducing every single day. That continues to be what he does with his life,
right.
You know, or the person who drives fast on the highway, but, you know, doesn't think there'll be repercussions for that. I mean, there are, you know, and a lot of times that applies to retirement too. I mean, we see people all the time that don't have nearly enough to retire, and, you know, their dream is to retire in 4 or 5 years. And, you know, we unfortunately have to be the people that say that's not really going to work, you know. And so some of these kind of help to put that in a little bit more focus, especially the first one. And I thought this was really great. If your pre-retirement lifestyle is set with a view of what you can sustain after you quit working, then you are likely to succeed in retirement. If not, you're either going to have a sharp drop in living standards or you're going to have to drastically increase your savings. And this may seem like a no-brainer, but think about even yourselves. How many times have you said to yourself, well, in retirement, I won't have blank expense. In retirement, you can live on this percentage of your current assets. I'm going to tell you right now, the first couple years of retirement, your expenses are not going to go down.
No.
I mean, I've seen it with hundreds of people who have retired, and unless you drive 1,000 miles a week for your job that you are not reimbursed for, it is very, very unlikely that your retirement will see a decrease in your expenses. If anything, you may see an increase because you're going to do that travel that you've always wanted to do and all these other things that you've been holding back on.
You have this pent-up list of fun stuff that you want to get done. You've retired. You know that you're kind of on borrowed time because at some point your health is going to limit you from doing some of these fun things, especially the ones that are more physically active. And so you want to get those things done in the early part of your retirement. And they get into this in one of the later commandments they have here, and it says, when it comes to fun stuff, remember that fun stuff costs money.
Yep.
And you're going to want to do some fun stuff because you've been working all these years, and you've deserved to do it. But be realistic about it and realize that that's going to be part of your budget, and you're going to have to spend that money. And you're not going to be able to live on 60 or 70% of what you did when you were working.
Yep. Also, never forget the non-financial aspects of your retirement. If you think you might want to relocate in retirement, don't wait till retirement to find out. Take a couple vacations there while you're working. Make sure you really like that place. You ever watch that International House Hunters show?
No.
I like watching it.
Not the answer you're looking for.
It's
huh?
okay. I find it piques my curiosity at how much houses cost in other countries. So that's why I watch it. It's always interesting to me the people that have decided they're going to relocate somewhere or buy a second home somewhere, and they get there and they have no idea what the cost of living even is. You know, they'll show up and they'll say, well, we want a 3-bedroom with a view of the ocean that we can rent out when we're not here, and our budget is $200,000. And then the real estate agent says on camera, I'm going to struggle a little bit to find all of their wish lists for their price amount, because homes like they're talking about generally go for about $480. You know, it's like, with the internet and everything, how did you not do any research on this area, you know? But it's kind of the same thing. Like, I've heard people say, well, when we retire, we're retiring to Florida. I'll go, oh, cool. What part of Florida? I don't know. We don't really go there that much right now. Well, you should probably start going there more often to figure out where you want to go.
Yeah. And if you don't do that, in the beginning part of your retirement, you may want to spend that time, you know, going down and trying out certain areas and renting for a while. But realize before you retire, you have to plan for the financial aspect of doing a move later.
Right.
And, you know, moving costs a lot of money. There's expenses in selling and buying. If you're getting a second home, or if you're going to rent a place, I mean, those are all things that you got to take into consideration.
Yep. You know, pay attention to communications from your employer, Social Security, Medicare, maybe your financial advisor, other people like that. You know, missing deadlines, missing opportunities, missing things that needed to be done can be really, really expensive to you over the long haul, especially as you start to get older and you need to register for things like Medicare and stuff like that. If you miss those deadlines, it's very bad. Now, something that I started recommending to people not very long ago, because it just dawned on me one day, to be honest with you, as I had missed an email that had come in. You know, we're so electronically communicative now. You know, everything comes by email. Well, I get so many emails that they just kind of get lost in space after a while, right? And if you forget to, you know, you'll see one, you ever do this part, you see one come in and you plan to read it later, but by the time you go back to your email, there's 30 more that have come in, so you completely forget about that one, you know?
Yep.
So what I did, and what I've been recommending people do, set up an email account specifically for important things, and only those things, right? And check that email once or twice a week at most. Maybe you check it on Monday and you check it on Friday, right? But then all the stuff that comes from your health insurance company, your life insurance company, your home and auto insurance company, you know, Medicare, Social Security, your employer, they all come to this box that, you know, the vast majority of emails that are coming in there are going to be very important for you to look at. So you don't skim over them. You don't miss them. You don't forget to, you know, to go back and read them. And, you know, a beautiful thing with like a Gmail or something like that, if you set it up under the same account, you can just click back and forth from one email to the next. So having an account purely for the important stuff that you look at every, you know, a couple times a week will help you not miss some of these big things that come along.
Yep. Another good point I thought they made is to be saving early and as much as possible, because the compound rate is going to help you. And then also, if you're getting within, you know, 5 years of retirement, you want to bulk up on that savings to build up all of your accounts so that you have a nice balance when you're going to retire, to give you a little bit of a cushion. And on top of that, you want to be living on your retirement budget before you actually retire. Don't be the first year you retire trying to live on your retirement budget, because then if you find out it doesn't work, it's too late to go back and say, hey, I didn't mean to retire last year. Can I have that job back at the same pay? No, that ain't going to happen.
Well, and also in that regards, they talk about saving as much as possible as soon as possible, right?
Yes.
You know, I always kind of like that idea of, you know, you save till it hurts a little bit, because the earlier you do it, the more adjustments you can make later. It's always, slightly comical to me. You have a young married couple. They have no children. They just bought their first house, and they're like, whew, money's really tight. We're both starting in our new careers and everything. And I'm like, you know what? You probably have more money right now than you're going to have for the next 25 years of your life, because once you start adding kids to the equation and everything else, there's always going to be some reason you can't, right? Mm-hmm. There's always going to be something that comes up. Don't ever fall into the habit of next year. Next year, we're going to do this. Next year, I'm going to contribute to my 401k. Yeah. Next year, we're going to open a Roth.
Yeah, that's the Chicago pension plan.
Right, which is not going well.
Right.
So, but just the idea of seize the day today, because here's the beauty of it. The younger you start, the more flexibility you'll have later because of the compounding. For instance, if you were 25 in 2009 and you started contributing to your 401k at whatever you were capable of, think of the position you'd be in today. I mean, the S&P is up, quintuple from when it was, you know what I mean?
It's gone up a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's up hundreds of percents over what it was, right? So if you had been doing that the whole time, you'd be in a phenomenal position now that if you did have to cut back a little bit because, little Billy needs to go to college soon or, whatever, you could, because you had kind of front loaded that savings plan that's going to keep growing for you, for many, many years to come.
Yep.
All right. So there's some ideas, things to think about. If you want to see all 10 commandments, we'll post them up on our Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/keepingyourmoney. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about rebalancing. It's a simple but unappreciated way to sometimes help and tweak your investing right here on the Keeping Your Money Show.
There's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to planning your future. Jamie, Bart, and all of the advisors at the Keeping Your Money Show understand that your financial goals are unique and your needs are going to change at varying stages of your life. Our team of advisors can help you tailor a financial plan that meets your unique needs. Call us today at 1-888-98-MONEY or visit keepingyourmoney.com to schedule your free initial consultation.